All right, everybody, welcome to our regular public council meeting for Monday, December 11, 2023. Call our meeting to order. New business, Councillor Tapper.
Greetings.
Councillor Manning.
Pass.
You don't want to say a Merry Christmas or anything like this
Well,
last meeting?
yes.
Okay.
Forget up to Tommy. We're not gonna be here anymore.
Councillor Pollard.
Thanks
Yes.
and greetings.
Councillor Goss.
Greetings as well, please.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
And I got the same. All right. Any questions come in for first Q&A? No. All right, could I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, we have a set of minutes here for a regular public council meeting, November 27th. Could I get a motion to adopt, please?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Moved, seconded. Any errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Conflict of interest, everybody has their sheet. If anything comes up during the meeting, raise it. Proclamations, we have none. Presentations, we have none. Question and answer, we have none. Mayor's report, it'll be very quick. Birthdays for the month of December. Matthew Snow, Corporate Services. Robert Hussey, Infrastructure and Public Works. Mark Whalen, HR Director. Bud Tapper, Infrastructure and Public Works. Noah Moore, Torbay History House Museum. Jonathan Pelly in Corporate Services. Sarah Winter, Recreation and Community Services. I wish everybody, on behalf of council, very happy birthday and have a safe one. All right. The only thing I wanted to mention was that I did participate along with the deputy mayor and MHA Wall judging the Festival of Trees on Sunday.
Saturday.
It was a Sunday, wasn't it? It was a great time. Saturday? Oh, Saturday, not Saturday. And I want to thank everybody who participated in that and did the trees. They did a wonderful job, and I know it was really difficult to choose the winners, but somehow we managed to do it. I think we did all right. We also that day attended the Special Needs Christmas party that Torbay Volunteer Fire Department held at the Common, and that's always the highlight of the Christmas season. And I want to thank everybody and Joe Tilley and the fire department and everybody else who was involved in that. And it was a job well done, and thank you very much. And we had breakfast with Santa at some point in the last week and a half, and that was very well attended. We had 3 full houses, and thank you to everybody that came over and helped us cook and serve, and it was a great time. I think we had a wonderful time. So that is it. Business arising report. Anybody have anything on that they'd like to highlight or talk about?
Just one related item on business arising. Can we follow up between now and Christmas break with MP Thompson to see if she got all the information on the water and whether or not she understands or whether she needs anything further from us
Okay.
to move that forward? And if possible, we can have a meeting with her prior to that, just to get her feedback and we know what the next steps are.
Okay. Can you make a note of that, Mark? All right, thank you. All right, anything else? Nope. Okay, we got a correspondence here, one from FCM, Advocacy Days. It's in for our information. We have a SAM newsletter for December, November, or winter newsletter. It was sent in December for our information. And we have a memorandum here from Government Newfoundland Labrador to do about distribution of Naloxone kits. So we'll forward those off to whatever departments they need to reside in. Okay. Committee of the Whole minutes. Could I get a motion to adopt that, please?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, Plan and land use development. Oh, hang on. I'll click on it first. Councilor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. There's only two motions, well, three actually, but two items. The first item there relates to the Flora Drive subdivision, KMB Holdings Limited, and a development agreement dated December 5th, 2011. I'm not going to read all the preamble. The information is there. The committee recommends that the town continues to engage legal counsel to take the necessary steps to see all required real property for road and walkway purposes conveyed to the town, to tender the paving or shouldering of the roads for stage 2 works, obtain as-built drawings, quality assurance reports and warranties, and to sell the mortgage lots to be able to recover all costs to do with the associated legal, surveying, appraisal, and construction costs, as well as outstanding accounts. The committee also recommends, because mortgages or second mortgages may become encumbered, that going forward, the town no longer accept collateral mortgages as securities for subdivisions. Other suitable and refundable security options include cash deposits or irrevocable letters of credit from bank. Therefore, the following two motions are tabled. Motion 1 is to authorize town staff and legal counsel to take the necessary steps to see the KMB subdivision on Flora Drive and Scenic View Drive to total completion stage in accordance with the subdivision development currently in legal effect dated December 5th, 2011. This shall include the conveyance of all required real property for road and walkway purposes to the town, for the town to tender the paving, shouldering of the roads for stage 2 works, to obtain as-built drawings and or quality assurance reports and warranties, and to sell the mortgage lots at Civics 35, 37, 39 Flora Drive, so the town, Torbay, can recover all costs associated with the legal, surveying, appraisal, and construction works and outstanding accounts. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
I just want to say that this has been on the go for a while. This is the next steps after consultation with legal to move this forward, because we have property owners tied up. We have work that needs to be done to finish out the phases. And I would expect that it's still going to take a bit of time for us to iron out the actual status of these mortgages and get that stuff moving, find out exactly how much we're going to be on the hook for. But it's something that has to be done. The longer we wait, the longer it's going to sit there, and the less dollar value we may be able to get back for these things. So we just suggest we move forward with it.
Okay, thank you. Any additional comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion 2 is motion for the town of Torbay to no longer accept collateral mortgages as a means of refundable infrastructure deposit from developers for subdivision developments. Other means such as cash deposits or irrevocable letters of credit continue to be acceptable. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
And we're recommending this as well because there is some issue around the collateral mortgage and that we might necessarily have first lien on it. If there's other liens potentially in the system, we could be out, unlike anything we do for tax purposes where the town is an automatic first lien. So if we go with cash, obviously we're in control of the cash, and if we go with letters of credit, the letters of credit are to us, and the bank would have to notify us, if they're going to revoke it, to give us 30 days notice, and then we'd have to act on it at that point in time. So I don't see collateral mortgages. It's just too cumbersome and potentially too costly for us.
Okay. Do our subdivision guidelines or anything like that had to be updated to reflect this?
I'm going to check into that.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Even if it does, anyway, this gives you the direction to go.
If it does, it'll come through planning committee and tabled with council.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the motion to accept permit listings for week ending December 7th, 2023 as tabled. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So is my report, Your Worship.
All right, thank you, sir. Admin and HR. Councilor Manning.
Okay. We had our meeting on Monday, December the 4th, and for the recruitment and selection, the seasonal heavy equipment operators for 2023-24 snow clearing season has been completed, and the successful candidates are Scott Lehman, Robert Mitchell, and Jacob Hickey. Just like to welcome them aboard. Down to the policies and procedures, it's all should be just self-explanatory there. I'm not going to go through it all, but if certainly anyone has any questions. let me know. But we do have one motion there concerning the social media and media relations policy. I'll read out the motion. The Town of Torbay adopt the revised social media and media relations policy as presented, effective December the 11th, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments?
I just want to say, I think one of the important parts of this is that the marketing coordinator gets involved with all aspects of what the town does from a communication perspective. I think that's very important overall, so that we don't miss anybody, or none of the individual departments all through the cracks. Because sometimes we got, I don't mean this in a negative way, sometimes recreation is doing their thing, history house is doing their thing, and then the greater, say, the corporate town themselves are doing, and they don't always gel. So at least with this being channeled through one person, we got a better chance to make sure that we get the one solid message out, and it gets into all media that we need to get at the same time.
Great. Any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
There's a second motion.
Yeah, I have one more, yeah. This is for the reclassification of deputy clerk to town clerk. Be it resolved that, as per the Administrative and Human Resources Committee meeting and subsequent privileged meeting held on Monday, November the 20th, 2023, that the Town of Torbay Council uphold a reclassification recommendation of Ann Picco to the role of town clerk effective immediately. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions?
Well deserved. Congratulations, Ann, and we look forward to continuing
Absolutely.
working you in the role. Thanks.
All right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And unless there's any more questions, that ends my report.
All right, thank you.
Your worship, can I take a point of order for a second?
Sure.
Can I just go back to the planning and development meeting for a second? I just want to bring
You can.
attention to the fact that there is the adjudicator's appeal decision
Yep.
relating to some of those water allocations is there for people's review. I just want to highlight that so that anyone who has interest can certainly read it and find out what the decision was overall, so.
Okay,
Thank you, Your
thank
Worship.
you. Thank you for noting that. All right. Corporate Services Report, Councilor Tepper.
Councillor Goss is going to take the lead.
Oh, go ahead, Councilor Goss.
He's got enough on his plate tonight, so I'm going to take over this one. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The corporate services report for December 6th. Payroll, regular payroll for 50 employees for the 2-week period ending November 23rd totaled $109,476.88. Accounts payable for the 2-week period ending December 1st, 2023, invoices in the amount of $527,078.65 were processed. Invoices for council approval. The following 13 operating invoices totaling $200,888.26. I gotta get that out properly, my apologies. Invoice number 2023, CIBC Mellon, $24,103.52. Invoice 2114730, Complete Tire Sales and Service Limited, $6,023.59. Invoice 385182 for Garda, $8,763.56. Invoice 23152, Grand Concourse, $8,912.80. Invoice 23153, Grand Concourse, $32,500. Invoice November 15th, 2023, NL Power, $15,404.66. Invoice November 30th, 2023, Pitney Bowes, $5,807.50. Invoice 4895, Pilot Communications, Inc., $11,500. Invoice 4889, Pilot Communications, Inc., $11,500. Invoice 810, Plan Tech Environment, $5,750. Invoice November 1st to 15th, 2023, Receiver General, $31,267.06. Invoice November 16th to 30th, 2023, Receiver General, $30,708.47. Invoice GM 6730, WSP E&I Canada Limited, $8,641.10. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
I just,
Go ahead.
could I just mention the two invoices from Pilot? They've been around for some while. We had a discussion on this at a committee of the whole meeting a few weeks ago. But right after that meeting, the next day, our CAO jumped on this and paid a visit to the company, their rep, and I was glad to see that, and I think hopefully we're going to see some action on this soon. It's a good, yeah.
Agreed. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Also, the following two capital invoices in the amount of $57,116 are presented for approval. Invoice 128983, Audio Systems Limited, $8,936.60. Invoice 23150, Grand Concourse, $48,180.20. So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Questions?
Can I ask, I'm always a step behind tonight for some reason. On the previous group there, the pilot communication ones, can we keep that on the radar and have a regular report come back from corporate services in terms of what progress, if any, has been made as we get through it, so it doesn't fall through the cracks, and we can just keep it on as an agenda item?
Yeah. Norm, can you make a note of that, please? Thank you. You got anything on these two? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'd wait for the next one, I get a question.
Opposed? Carried.
And the rest of the information is there for everybody's reading. If there's any other questions, please feel free.
All right.
There's
Thank
a
you.
couple of motions there.
There's more motions?
Yeah,
Sorry, I was talking
Yeah,
so much, I
report
forgot
two.
with the motions.
number 2.
Motion 17-MYCW-24-00030, North Pond Water Treatment. As per correspondence received from the Honorable John Abbott, Minister of the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on July 6, 2023, COR-2023/06794, the town of Torbay was successful in receiving funding in the amount of $2,012,994 to support the town's application for North Pond Water Treatment Phase 3, project number 17-MYCW-24-0030. Next steps in the process include a resolution passed by motion of council to enter into the municipal infrastructure funding agreement. Please find the following required motion. The motion reads, be it resolved that the ultimate recipient, the town of Torbay, accept the cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approved Letter dated the 13th of October, 2023. Project number 17-MYCW-24-00030. Project named North Pond Water Treatment, Phase 3, with a total project value of $3,171,146. This council agrees to provide the ultimate recipient share value of $862,712 in funding for this project, and authorizes the mayor and the chief administrative officer / town clerk to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Excuse me. Comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And the second motion is in regards to the RBC bank signatories. With the hiring of the town's new CAO, Sandy Hounsel, the authorized signatories on the town's accounts with RBC are required to be updated. Mark Whalen, as acting CAO, will be removed and authorized signatory to be replaced by Sandy Hounsel, CAO. The committee recommends the addition of Sandy Hounsel, Chief Administrative Officer, and the removal of Mark Whalen, acting Chief Administrative Officer, as signatory on all town accounts with RBC. All other signatories and signature requirements are to remain as currently in place. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So So, sir, that ends my report.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the list, memo to council, budget 2024. Councilor Tepper.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Scott, Deputy Mayor Thorne-Goss, fellow council members, staff members, volunteers, and all residents of the town of Torbay. I'm pleased, as Chair of the Corporate Services Committee, to present the 2024 budget to all of you this evening. Before the presentation of the 2024 budget, I would like to highlight a couple of key initiatives for our community and reflect on 2023. The town of Torbay had the privilege of hosting the Killy Coast 2023 Regional Games. The games were played at the Upper Three Corner Pond Park and at Torbay Common between the week of August 20th and August 25th. Thank you to our staff and volunteers who worked tirelessly throughout the week of the games to accommodate the constant change in weather, and congratulations once again to our own athletes for winning this year's Jack Byrne Cup. We experienced a large uptake in our community programs and events at the Torbay Common and the Torbay History House and a museum this past year. We anticipate a great turnout during our holiday events, some of which are already underway. We continue to have tremendous support and participation from our community, with many events selling out quickly. So thanks very much to everyone. The residents of the town of Torbay have endured inflation and interest rates that have significantly impacted the cost of living. Interest rates have risen to 5.75%, resulting in increased costs for our fiscal borrowing for infrastructure development and the increase in the cost for providing core services. New construction value has gone from $13,170,818 in 2022 to $8,373,176 in 2023. This includes single detached dwellings, accessory buildings, resident repairs and renovations, and commercial or industrial development. Torbay's biggest challenge is the need for a source of potable water. North Pond remains at capacity, meaning no further service development can happen at this time. We have landowners wanting to develop land who are unable to because they cannot avail of municipal water. Growth brings increased revenues to cover the costs of municipal operations. The town of Torbay requires water to support development, to be prosperous, to be sustainable, and to minimize the tax burden on residents. Your council has already hired a new consultant to assist with the planning and development of necessary infrastructure to bring Grey Pond on stream as a second town water supply to be fully operational within several years. This is a major project which will cost multi-millions of dollars. Through our MP, Ms. Joanne Thompson, we have already opened a door to approach the federal government for financial support and assistance. With the challenge the federal government is facing to provide affordable housing to Canadian residents right across our country, we are very hopeful that now is our best time to move on this very important project going forward. As per legislation, all municipalities are required to present a balanced budget. 2024 will see a total budget of $18,293,488, allocating $7,073,636 for capital expenditures and $11,219,852 for operational costs. There will be no increase in tax rates this year. The residential property tax mill rate will remain at 7.6 mils, and the commercial property tax rate will remain at 12.4 mils. The water tax will be $225 per year. Council will continue to offer the 12-month interest-free payment plan for taxes. in addition to the 25% tax reduction for those in receipt of guaranteed income supplement, and a 20% tax reduction for low-income individuals and families. The tax reductions will apply to primary residents only. Residents are encouraged to contact the Town Hall for more information regarding the application process to determine and confirm your eligibility. Through cost-shared programs with the federal and provincial governments, the Town of Torbay will continue to invest in infrastructure in 2024. A generator will be procured for the Torbay Common Community Centre, which is the town's warming centre during emergency events. A new playground will be installed at Pine Ridge Open Space and Playground area, as well as the Upper Three Corner Pond Park. Testing of technologies for water quality improvements and treatment plant design for North Pond will occur in 2024. Major construction and implementation expected 2025-26. We continue to work to bring Great Pond on stream as a supplemental water supply and hope to garner provincial and federal support for this very important project. Completion of sidewalks on Torbay Road between Indian Mill Line and Bali Line as part of the original submission will continue at a cost of $950,336. Culvert abutment and replacement are budgeted at $75,000, as well as replacement for pumps and electrical panels for our lift stations are budgeted at $104,000. Window, siding, and eave replacement at Town Hall at $200,000 will complete the renovation project for the building that started some years ago. Plans are also in the works to commence a rollout garbage bin project to make collection more efficient and to standardize containers to deter growing rodent issues. As Torbay prepares for growth and next phases of development, and as our current municipal plan expires, we have commenced and will continue in 2024 our update to a new revised town plan. This initiative has a 2024 budget of $185,000. Council is continuing with its commitment to resolve wastewater issues and has budgeted for a wetland solution study to take place in 2024 in the amount of $100,000, with the hope to identify less expensive solutions that may be able to be instituted in phases. Council will also be using $600,000 from last year's surplus to balance out the 2024 budget. Numerous budget requests were denied in order to keep a focus on core programs and services to residents, while minimizing the increase in taxes. Volunteers are the lifeline of our community. 2023 will see a continued commitment to the Northeast Soccer Club, Rock Garden Committee, Girl Guides, the 50+ groups, Safe Grad, East Coast Trail, Torbay Library, Torbay Folk Arts Council, Torbay Lions Club, Torbay Minor Softball, the School Lunch Program, and the Harbour Authority. The Town of Torbay will continue with its donation program, supporting eligible residents as they pursue personal achievements in academic and athletic programs. Fire and life safety is paramount to every community. Torbay is very fortunate to have an outstanding volunteer fire department who are entering their 50th year anniversary of service to our community. The Torbay Volunteer Fire Department are heavily involved in and around our community, in addition to emergency response. Fire Prevention Week, school walks, fundraisers, and department tours for community groups such as the Brownies, Cubs, Scouts, Beavers, and Sparks are just a few examples of how the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department continues to support and give back. Budget 2024 will see an allocation of $620,395 to support the operations of the fire department. Initiatives include digitizing its data management system, the purchase of new sets of bunker gear, and new breathing apparatus bottles. all of which are vital to the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department as it carries out its work as safely and timely as possible. An amount of $250,000 has been allocated for road maintenance in 2024. In addition, $166,000 has been allocated to the total budget for salt and sand, bringing total expenditures for both these items to $416,000. $72,000 has been provided for the purchase of chlorine and soda ash for the North Pond Water Plant, an increase of $27,000 over 2023 due to inflation. We are currently beginning our municipal plan review through our Department of Planning and Development. This helps us develop documents and strategies to guide the development and growth of our community in the years to come. A $179,622 commitment is made in Budget 24 to provide support to economic development and tourism. Funds are allocated to continue with implementation of the town's economic roadmap, youth entrepreneurship, the Small Business Awards program, garden tourism, an online interactive tourism map, business welcome kits, community markets, and the business retention and expansion toolkit. Recreation, community services, culture, and heritage initiatives support the quality of life of all municipalities' residents. These important initiatives help make a town become a real vibrant community. In 2024, the town of Torbay will commit $531,049 to the Torbay Common Community Centre operations, along with $424,739 to offer diverse youth, seniors, sporting programs, and special events for residents and the general public. In 2024, the town of Torbay will continue with the implementation of its open space management strategy by building upon 6 kilometers of trails built to date. The former Priest's House was purchased in 2017 with funding support from all 3 levels of government. In addition to a private donation, the Priest's House was renovated and restored to become Torbay's History House and Museum, where Torbay's history, culture, and heritage comes alive. In 2022, the museum manager has been successful in writing grant applications to support operations and programs of the History House. So we have a couple of motions. So I will ask the fellow councillors for their support as I present the required motions for the adoption of Budget 2024. So motion number 1, that the 2024 total budget for the town of Torbay in the amount of $18,293,488 be adopted. The breakdown is $11,219,852 for operating and $7,073,636 for capital. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Comments? One?
I got comments.
Go ahead.
I just look at this and I think about it's every year when we get up to the budget time, it's never an easy discussion that we end up having, especially with the economy and what have you in the situation that it's currently in, where to allocate funds. And, you know, I just look at it all. There's a lot of work that goes into making these decisions, and it would be nice to have more funding to accommodate everybody. But I have one question with saying all that I need to bring up and get some direction. I know that we took out an allocation that was there for the hay review. Is it possible to have an amendment done on that and have funding reallocated from another funding source? Because I have to go back and emphasize the importance of having a review done, that it was in the last council, it was very important, and it's not for just the management here. it was for all staff. And in light of the whole amount, we did at HR, I will say that we discussed that it may be all the funding wasn't required because our new CAO could potentially do some of it, but this is something new as well. And to see that funding come out, and I know that there is possibly another option to look at that funding. So I need to bring that up in order to, this is something that's gone on for years, and the way that the discussion took place around it, I made it known how I felt about it. And to see that the staff potentially could have a negative impact on staff and, well, all staff really. I would just like to have the other option reconsidered, and if that's the time to actually do this. Who would know to be able to give me some advice?
Well,
I'm looking at Tony.
Well, I'm sure Tony has some advice as well, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a blueprint of numbers for us to follow,
No.
you know? And yes, well, that's my
Sorry.
opinion.
Yes.
And as we do every year, when something comes along, and if this comes along, we'll consider moving money. If you know, it'll come back to council for a vote, public meeting, and if we can consider moving money, we will. And there's other items here as well that I'm sure that some people may question, or, you know, but that's the process in my book, and we've done it several times over this last year and years gone by.
Okay, I asked the question, and I know I asked the question, but I want to make sure that when the time comes to look at this review that we were talking about doing for all of staff, and when you say that about the funding going to be reallocated, because I wanted to make a motion to have another alternative put in place. So I guess as the chair, you're saying that that's not,
Well, I'm saying it's possible, you know, but I think it should have been brought up before this stage, before tonight.
I wrote an
Because we-
email to you and talked to you about it, Mr. Tapper, Councillor Tapper. Anyway, I'll leave that as it is.
It's usually done in committee,
Okay,
right?
I missed one meeting and I left because I had a prior commitment, and everyone was aware of that. There was plenty of time to make that change.
Part of the-
And
all right,
anyway,
time.
Part of the discussion around that related to how far Director of Human Resources and CAO would get with the strategy as well. So the full dollar amount probably wouldn't have been earmarked anyway for that particular purpose. So my understanding is that Mark and Sandy are still taking that away to review and come back, or take it as far as they can, then come back to council with the recommendations how we move forward. I think that'll be the key impetus for us to decide how we move forward. And I'm sure that through jigs and the reels, as we know every year, based on timing, and I'll just take financing for example, we might finance exactly at the beginning of the year, that some of that money will still be available to go ahead and put in there.
Okay. Any
And-
other comment? Go ahead.
I also agree that at the time, right now, CAO and the Director of HR are working on the process. I'm well aware of that.
Okay,
And they seem to be working well on it. So the full amount, yeah, absolutely will not be required. And as everyone else has said around the table, that at the time, if there's money needed or required, it's a discussion also.
okay, any other comment?
Yeah, I'm just gonna add to, just to have my little input. You know, we've looked at a lot of numbers in the last 6 to 8 weeks, going through this budget, time in, time out, and our Director of Finance and Corporate Services, we've looked at a lot of things, and I'm quite proud that we got to this state of a budget, considering the times we're in. And the way things are moving with our new CAO and the positive direction we are going in, I have full faith that if something is needed, that we will find a way to get it done. And I'm in full support of this budget.
All right, back to you, sir.
I'm ready for the vote.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Okay, we have one more motion, that the town of Torbay adopt a tax and fee structure schedule for the 2020 2024 as presented. The 2024 schedule will be advertised in the January edition of the Northeast Avalon Times newspaper and posted on the town's website. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
I think that the tax fee structure is the key for people to look at, I guess, and note that there's been minimal changes in terms of tax rates and moving forward, and I think that's an indication of our thought process through putting this budget forward and look where we are today. And, you know, people look at the budget as a whole, there's probably not a lot of new things that we haven't been talking about for a number of years in this budget, so in that respect, I guess, we are holding the line and just doing what is exactly is, I'll say, mandatory or really necessary for us moving forward, and hence, you know, the discussions around the water treatment at North Pond and the expansion of Great Pond, things of that nature. But I think that's all reflected in tax structure, and tax structure fairly well is the way it has been over the past couple of years, really.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? You put forward a motion.
Okay, if you
Before you
want.
do, I just want to, I'm not going to talk to any of that stuff. I just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved in working on the budget, from all our staff, residents, council, and, you know, thank you, everybody, for your input. As Councilor Tapper mentioned earlier, there was things put in the budget, there was things taken out of the budget, things moved around. Council did a lot of work. There was a lot of meetings, a lot of hours, a lot of time put in by our staff, particularly in corporate services, to look to get the numbers balanced to where they needed to be. And I just want to thank everybody for that. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. No, I just want to mention, 12 months ago when we passed our last budget, I think immediately after that meeting, going right around the table, I think pretty well everybody had the commitment to, at least this year, try to, you know, keep the mill rate as it was. You know, it has increased a little bit over its last few years, and we are strapped at times for money. But that was the commitment that was made, I think, around the table, and we accomplished that in this budget. There's no mill rate increase, and as Tony mentioned, there's very little change in the numbers for the fee structure. So, you know, again, I presented this budget. I'm in full support.
Okay, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, sir. All righty. Economic development and tourism. Councilor Manning.
Okay, we did have a meeting Thursday night. It was very brief. It was more of an introduction to our new Economic Development and Tourism Officer. And just like to say, once again, welcome aboard, Carrie Murray. We looked at some things, but no full discussion until our next meeting. Carrie is still getting briefed and informed about different issues and topics underneath this. So that's pretty much what our meeting was.
All right. Great.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Welcome aboard, Carrie. Just have to say that. All right. History, heritage, culture, and arts. Deputy Mayor.
We didn't have a meeting this time round, so it's an update. So if anybody's got any questions, there's no motions in there. If anybody got any questions, please go ahead and ask.
No, I will comment though. I saw a post on the old Facebook today by Laura Maynard looking at the kids going back over to
Yeah.
the school, led by Noah with his safety vest on, going across the crosswalk. And all of them were carrying their ugly sticks with them, so it was certainly nice to see. And if anybody's wondering, yes, that is the kind of programming that we're doing up at the History House for students from the elementary school, so it's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's on our heritage and culture, which is totally different from the programs that are being offered at the Common.
Yep.
And if anybody hasn't seen it, Lara Maynard's post was heartwarming, and she puts it in really good words there. So, yeah, it was really good.
It's all good. All right, That's it. Number 2, infrastructure and public works, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Worship. This too is really an update. Councillor Appleby was sick at the time of the meeting, so myself and Brian went over the agenda items, and they're pretty well standard, as I said the last time, and as everyone knows, this time of year is pretty well focused on any road work that might need to be done, and you know, the snow clearing aspect of things, and that's the main focus right now. But there are a couple of motions here that we need to move ahead. We had discussion on a number of meetings about the trail development, and particularly the portion of trail that goes from Forest River Road to Bypass Road, and that's still a bit of a contentious issue. So we went back to legal to try to figure out how to move forward. So there's a motion here. So motion to proceed with the next steps in the process, which is to seek and commence a claim in trespass as noted in the correspondence, then seek an injunction pursuant to section 104 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act. This would involve commencing a claim in Supreme Court, followed by an application for the injunction. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
So I guess the idea here is we're at a stalemate and there's nothing moving, so the only way to really do it is to move forward. I mean, we could go in and start reorganizing personal property and you know, put ourselves in a liable situation, and we certainly don't want to do that if we can move it through the legal process, you know, sooner than later type thing. So, you know, like I say, I don't know how high a priority these will sit in terms of the legal proceedings, but we certainly hope that they'll move through fairly quickly, or at least get something moving.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next motion is under the multi-year capital works project, which was our roads project, and there is still money left in that, so we'll still have a surplus. There's some issues on Quarry Road extension. Water starting to pool, so we gotta do some drainage in that area. So motion to approve change order number 4, additional drainage work on Quarry Road extension as part of the multi-year capital works roads project number 17 MYCW 22-00069. The estimated price to complete this work using the unit prices provided in the original contract is estimated at $13,294. The project will still have a surplus of around $80,000. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And other than that, your worship, the other points are there for the reading, and if anyone has any questions, feel free.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you very much. Recreation, Community Services, Councillor Goss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We too, again, I guess it's the time of the year, we too did an update as well. I guess everything's there. If anything, anybody has any questions, the only thing I will say is that just a reminder of 2 residents that the fireworks will go ahead at 8 p.m. on December 31st at the bottom of Holy Trinity Lane. Beyond that, the rest is there if anybody has any questions.
Anybody got any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, liaison committees, Atlantic Mayor's Congress, no update. Intergovernmental affairs, I don't have any update. Jackburn Regional,
Nothing to report.
okay. Northeast Avalon Joint Council,
We had a meeting last Wednesday night. It was a really good meeting, actually. First one that we've had in a while. One thing that was a couple of things that might interest you, and that was that Minister John Abbott was in attendance, and he talked about the public transportation within Northeast Avalon and any towns that are interested in entertaining. He wants to put as many people or staff behind that to make that happen. So he asked for any town that was interested to send an email, and so that's been done. And the RNC and the RCMP were there, and it came up about having a joint meeting. I told them that Corporal, take off my glasses and I can't see, Ryan Slaney was there, and about having something in the new year. And of course, the other towns jumped in and said, well, if we're having something, and we talked about the new legislation and what have you, and other people, other towns had other comments to put in there, so It was really good, and, you know, because sometimes we're looking at this and what the actual mission objective of having the Northeast Avalon Joint Council, but a lot of it was lobbying government, and it was good to see that in itself, having the minister there made a big difference, so. And the next one is in January, which is the election of officers and the board.
All right, okay, thank you. Any questions on any of that? All right, RNC, have any update? Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, Councillor Manning?
I do have meetings there. I forgot to send it off to get it attached to the package, so I apologize for that. But as always, fire department are continuously doing their training and always active at that. And they this weekend now they just had their kids' Christmas breakfast with Santa and a special needs Christmas party, as you said, with the fire department and Joe Tilley, who's been at it. I thought he said 27 years this has been ongoing or something like that, but it's been
29.
fantastic. 29, yeah. So I was down, stopped into those. Other than that, that's pretty much just put out a thank you to them all the volunteers, and stay safe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Urban Municipalities Committee, I don't have any update. I will I'll give a quick little blurb, and I don't know if I mentioned it our last meeting, but we did have our regional mayors and deputy mayors meeting a few weeks ago down Balleen. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but we did have Minister Abbott there, and to discuss issues within our area, particularly with the provincial roads. And I must say, so far I really enjoy working with Minister Abbott since he became the new Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, or whatever it's called at the provincial level. He's very accessible, and his staff responds usually pretty promptly to emails. I know we're still waiting to hear back on that issue for the water treatment, and we keep following up, so I guess tomorrow we'll follow up with Brian and see where that's to, but I just wanted to just give a shout out to him there for that. Okay. No notices, motion, new business. Councillor Tapper.
Yeah, I just want to take the opportunity, since our last meeting for this year anyway, to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll have a prosperous New Year. I think, we got some challenges ahead, we do every year, but I think around the table now, I think we're starting to gel. We got a new CAO, we've made some good changes, new staff hired on. So I think the town is looking up, and people are, as was reported, people are coming out to our activities and our events and participating as the numbers are up. So again, hopefully everybody will have a safe Christmas, especially, and with their families, and a very enjoyable New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, whatever, and just total enjoyment. Take advantage of the season.
All right, thank you. Councillor Manning?
Okay. Well said, Councillor Tapper.
Thank you.
I too send out certainly season's greetings to everyone. A very Merry Christmas and happy and safe New Year to come, and wish everyone whatever they're looking for in the New Year, that it comes about for them and in a safe way. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pollard?
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, I want to say a great big thank you to staff who aren't always in an enviable position from on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes that seem to think that we don't really appreciate them as much as we do, but we certainly do. And there's a disconnect between what makes sense outside this table and what makes sense at this table too. I know I've been there, but So I just wanted to say thanks for everything you do, and I hope that you and your families have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, and enjoy the holidays, and we certainly look forward to working with you all again in the future. Next year. Future sounds like you're. The second thank you I'd like to make is to all the volunteers in the community, because without the volunteers, we would not have the events and have the success and have the camaraderie and sense of community that we do have. And there are many, many, many people out there who step up every day to bring their personal talents on a no-fee basis to help us move forward in town. So I'd like to wish all of them a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well. And thanks. And to my council members here, thanks very much for your time and patience, and I look forward to working with you guys in the New Year too. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Goss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, it's a common theme, of course, and just reflecting upon the last year, it seemed like it was moving along pretty slow there for a while, and all of a sudden here we are, our last meeting of the year, going into 2024. You know, I think from a councillor perspective and a council, I think we've, throughout the changes that have been made, I think we're looking forward to a very proactive and a very team-like atmosphere moving forward, that everybody can really help out and make this town a better town as we wanted. One of the reasons I came on council 2 years ago was to do what I could to help make this town a better town to live in. Again, as Councillor Tapper said, a town is nothing without volunteers, so I'd like to thank them for all their time and energy and for their consistency of coming out. To our staff, again, thank you so much for the hard work you do behind the scenes. And the council, I appreciate your time and your energy and the time you put forth. And I'd like to wish everybody, a great holiday season. And I look forward to, a very proactive and great 2024 for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
I'd like to start by saying thank you to all of the staff and volunteers involved in the different events over the past number of weeks. And the weekend to Joe Tilley and the fire department for the special needs. That was really, I guess, each time you go there, it touches your heart. And I guess what you often say, Mayor, is, what Christmas and that is all about. The Festival of Trees, the History House, that's been, I guess, ongoing the past few weeks. Yes, and it was a hard decision with the judging, but it's nice to see that we actually have volunteers up there in the evening, keeping the place open for our residents to go through. So for any staff or council that haven't been up there yet, I really encourage you to go. And I just want to wish Merry Christmas to all of the staff and volunteers, fellow councillors, mayor, and again, I had it in here with regards to our residents. A lot of times we only hear from our residents if there's something that needs to be actioned or there's an issue or what have you, but at any given time, they know that they can touch base with any of the councillors and staff and get everything hopefully resolved. So again, thank you to everybody, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could say one more thing. Since the chief is here, I'd like also to say a heartfelt thank you to our fire department, the volunteer fire department. What a vital service you guys provide, not only for Torbay, but the surrounding area. Again, thank you so much for what you guys do, and Merry Christmas to all the fire department, and again, thank you so much.
All right, well said. I'm not going to reiterate what everybody else says. Everybody around here knows that, I want to say thank you to everybody here. Staff, council, residents, volunteers, fire department, everybody who helps make this town move forward. And, we might not always see eye to eye, as Councilor Pollard mentioned, even between council staff, council and council and residents, staff and residents. Mm-hmm. I think that at the bottom of it all, we all have a certain vision that we want to see for our town. We want to see it get better and be a better place to live. And are we going to have challenges? absolutely. If we weren't having challenges, it means we're not doing anything. And it's easy to sit around as staff or council or whoever and go with the motions and go with the flow. But I know that our staff are always coming up with new ideas, council is always coming up with new ideas, and residents are bringing ideas to us and requests. And I've said this always to residents in particular. If you have an idea of something that you want to do in our town, please bring it forward. Because just because 7 people are sitting around this table as members of council, we don't have all the answers and we don't have all the best ideas. But if you bring them to us, we will take them and look at them, and if we can do them, we'll do them. Anyway, that is it for tonight. Do we have any questions that came in?
No questions.
All right. I want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. Please be safe. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys when we have our next public council meeting on January the 8th, 2024. This is going to take a few weeks to get used to writing that new date down. I suppose I'll have a bunch of stuff signed 2023 for some while. But I'm really looking forward to the new year. I know it's going to be exciting, and we got a lot of stuff on our radar, a lot of hard work to do. So get a bit of a refresher now from now till the new year. And I know you'll all come back chomping at the bit and ready to go January 8th. All right, and with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Moved. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much.